This is iPhone 7 Plus. Oh, I'm sorry, my bad. Let's do this again. This is the new OnePlus 5, and I know the first thing that comes to your mind, that it's a complete iPhone 7 Plus ripoff. Here's the thing, OnePlus is not responsible for this design. Many people don't know that OnePlus is owned by Oppo, and they recently announced Oppo R11. And can you see the similarity in both these phones? OnePlus says that they are a small and fairly new company, and they don't have all the resources to have curved screens, bezel-less designs, or wireless charging, or maybe even waterproofing for the fact. I think they are in business from past 5 years. It's a pretty long time, so stop giving that shit. Just for the sake of comparison, this is the essential phone, and it is the first phone from the very new company. It has all the features which we expected from OnePlus 5, but hey, OnePlus is very new company and they are very small, so we are not getting any new thing from them. But let's keep all that aside and see what OnePlus 5 has to offer. I've been using this phone for about a month, and I have developed a love-hate relationship with this phone. I really want to use this phone over my 3T, but I hate recommending it to someone. I'm pretty sure you guys have watched millions of other OnePlus 5 videos, and you know all the specs and numbers better than I do. So I'll try my best to tell you that how it is like to use this phone day in and day out. But before that, I want you to go watch my last video on OnePlus 5. It has few things which you should really know about this phone. Or maybe you can watch it after this video. That's up to you. Let's talk about the design first. It is undoubtedly very similar to iPhone 7 Plus, but I think it has few new things. Until this phone, every OnePlus phone had very sharp cuts around the corners and edges, and they did not sit well with the hands. You don't feel like using those phones for longer sessions, but that changed here with OnePlus 5. When you pick up this phone for the first time, you will feel this phone is extremely comfortable to use for longer periods, and these corners don't hurt you in the hands. I think this is much more comfortable to use than iPhone 7 Plus because this packs same screen size as 7 Plus but in a smaller form factor. If I am not wrong, OnePlus used a different metal finish process on this phone. You see, OnePlus 3T's metal back feels very unpolished and raw to touch. OnePlus 5 on the other hand has a much softer and polished back, which makes it smoother than OnePlus 3T. I'm happy that they did not have the courage to remove headphone jack from this phone. And I was really surprised. This is a much better headphone jack than before. You can use really big headphones with this phone, and there is still high detail in the audio that you listen to. It comes in two colors plus one which was just launched a few days ago, and these two colors decide the specs of this phone. I mean, if you want to own the darker shade of the OnePlus 5, then you will have to forcefully spend some extra dollars to get that shade, because there is only one variant in a darker shade of 8GB and 128 gigs of storage. I don't feel there is a need of such high specs on a phone, especially the RAM. I never crossed 4GB RAM in everyday use of my OnePlus 3T, and still there is a plenty of RAM left to do things. So why would anyone need 8 gigs of RAM? I guess I would have been happier if OnePlus had used the budget of extra RAM in some other places, like including earphones in the box or waterproofing this phone. No doubt OnePlus 5 is a fast phone, faster than anyone could have imagined years ago. But what's the point? There is no new innovation which we have been waiting for. If you are already using OnePlus 3T or 3 or maybe some other flagship phone from past year, you won't feel a big difference in performance for day-to-day things. Rather than more RAM, I wanted to see a higher capacity battery, a bezel-less design, and a better camera than an extra one. OnePlus really wants you to focus on their new phone because of this camera, or cameras I should say. Some people will either love or hate the images that come out from this camera. Just for the comparison, this image was taken with OnePlus 3T and this with the OnePlus 5. People will think that OnePlus 5 has better image because it is more vibrant and contrasting. But in the real world, OnePlus 3T captures more accurate colors. This is how the cookie was looking to my eyes in the real life. And OnePlus 5 really oversharpens the photos. On the other hand, there are some good things which this camera has. Like white balance is always on point. Selfies look great in good daylight. The images are really high detail, and some people are really big fan of DSLR like background blur or bokeh. OnePlus 5 can create that effect without the use of extra software features. In portrait mode, the images look like they were blurred by a small kid who doesn't know how to use Photoshop. I hope OnePlus can soon fix this because it is a software feature. Else, I really love the extra zoom from the second lens. I thought I would never use it enough, but that extra lens on the phone does come handy in some situations. And at the end of the day, the only thing matters is how much battery is left. This phone has given me the screen on time which I could never even imagine of. I can use this phone almost for one full day and another half. So is it worth buying this phone? Maybe, it's hard to say. I'm a OnePlus 3T user and I have no need to switch to OnePlus 5 and I'm switching back. But if you're coming from 2 or 3 years old phone, or maybe you want that dual camera setup for the extra zoom, then this phone can be worth for you. If you're interested in buying this phone, then there are links given below in the description box of this video to buy it. Until then, take care of those pixels.